Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop-off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Well. Shopping for a car?
Yep, Carvana made financing a car as smooth as can be.
Oh, yeah?
I got pre-qualified instantly and had real terms personalized just for me.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
Well, I got to browse thousands of car options on Carvana, all within my budget.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
It does. I actually wanted a car that seemed out of my range, but I was able to add a cosigner and found my dream car.
It doesn't get much...
Oh, it gets smoother. It's getting delivered tomorrow.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get pre-qualified today.
Hold on, let me push her buttons.
Do you remember in The Simpsons where Lisa goes to Waylon Smithers' house for a clue? It has to do with the Malibu Stacy doll. And he goes, hold on, let me check my files on my computer. And he goes over and he turns on the computer and it's like the welcome screen is, hello, Smithers. You really know how to turn me on.
I do remember that.
I love my favorite thing as like a lifelong Simpsons watcher, still in my life. I've never missed an episode, all 700 or whatever.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on.
Okay, by the way, everybody, I did that from memory, just like pulling out in a random thought. And I got, if you play that back, go ahead, hit that rewind 15 seconds button on your podcast app that you use and go back and listen to my impression, because honestly, I think I kind of nailed it. So, please go back and listen to that. That was pretty good from memory.
Yeah. But me pulling it up so fast was pretty goddamn impressive.
By the way, yes, you know what? By the way, a podcast that's called "We Should Be Better at This." That's called the name of the show. Sometimes we occasionally are actually pretty good. Like what is the old saying? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Every once in a while, Chris does something miraculous from a production standpoint, and I actually pull something out of my ass that's actually pretty good, pretty on point. But my favorite thing about The Simpsons, it's not the famous stuff that happens in The Simpsons or the one, the does and all that kind of stuff. It's the random like jokes, non sequitur jokes that are just like background stuff that are the things that I remember and I laugh about, like, many years later when Duffman goes, Duffman is thrusting in that general direction.
Yes.
All of those are the jokes that for me are why I'm a Simpsons fan. And so
I'm rewatching them because I'm rewatching them all with my daughter. We're doing our podcast Once Upon a Time in Springfield, where we review all the Simpsons episodes. We're on season 4 now. And those are the best things in the world. And a lot of them are from Homer and Bart. Like most of them are from Homer and Bart, it seems like.
Yes.
And when they say, oh God, I was trying to think of one that I just heard the other day. It was just like Homer saying something stupid, like I didn't pass 3rd grade or something stupid like that. Or I don't know.
Hold on, I got this one. Why do I need to learn English? I'm never going to go to England.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Simpsons. See, this is where we're not good at it.
Yeah.
How do you spell sequitur?
SEQI.
Oh, no, that's not the right word. Okay, let's not Google that one.
Did you type in
sexy
queer? Did you type in sexy queer again?
I'm not going to say what popped up, but let's just hope I deleted the cookies fast enough. All right. Well, shit. Didn't you go traveling or something?
I did. Listen, I'm a cheapskate, and I just am. I'm a total cheapskate. I am a cheapskate, though, with a kind heart, in that the reason I'm a cheapskate is that's how we've always been able to survive, right? As a family of 4, we've lived all of our life in California until very, very recently, where things are very expensive. And for the most part, I was a single income provider for a family of 4, and we made it work because we shopped with coupons. We were cheap. We take cheap vacations, and we just make it work, right? We're a good, tight
you are
family.
cheap.
I'm a cheap guy.
And you're not Jewish, which is really weird.
I'm not Jewish, but I can go, oi. Very,
That's really racist.
It is. But welcome to our other podcast. We're kind of racist. But in this particular case, it wasn't like, yes, it was going to be a cheap vacation, but I announced to the family, I said, listen, guys, I have a bunch of hotel points on a credit card that I don't want to use anymore. So I just want to use up these, but it's all Holiday Inn. So it's a pretty, crappy hotel, or I would say average hotel, but I had a bunch of points. I said, listen, let's go on a vacation right after Christmas and let's go somewhere for New Year's. And my only rules is I'll go anywhere you guys want to go. The only rule I have is I want to go somewhere warm, and I would prefer it if it was beach centric, right? Like it doesn't have to be a beach, but I want water near me. I want to have cocktails, and I want to feel sand on my toes. That's really like it's got to be warm.
So you went to Cuba.
No, and so I said, and so we came up with the idea of we're going to fly wherever was the cheapest flight from Dallas at that particular time frame that we were looking at.
I guess Houston, but keep going.
Well, obviously I wasn't going to choose like the next city over, but so the family looked and they basically came back with, okay, the things that fit your parameter of warm drinking to be done and cheap. The only two places were Las Vegas and Tampa, Florida. Well, I've been to Las Vegas 492 times. And also, if you go to Las Vegas, then you got this weird, awkward thing where you're close enough to family. Like, am I supposed to invite them and tell them to meet us in Vegas? We got this whole thing. And I said, how about
you don't take kids to Vegas. Usually they'll go party.
See, and that was my argument too, is I was kind of like, at the end of the day, if I want to go to Vegas, let's go to Vegas and actually do Vegas, not take the kids. So I said, listen, none of you have ever been to Florida. I've only been there for business a couple of times. Like I haven't really been to Florida that much. I literally would go to work and then go back to the hotel room. So I said, why don't we do Tampa? I don't know anything about Tampa. So let's just go do it. Let's book the trip. And I cashed in the hotel points. So I said, basically, it was the cheapest flight that we chose. And we booked it and booked the hotel without knowing anything about the area, what to do, what we were going to do, or any of our plans. We just booked it.
You found how many hookers in the bed, or was there like a black light search in your room before you?
So have you been to Florida a bunch of times?
I've been there, not a bunch. I've been there a few times.
Okay, so you have some Florida insight, right? Like you've been to Florida enough to read
Miami, Tampa, Orlando. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my observation in my brief business travel there, and my now where I spent spending 4.5 days there. It was a lot. We spent a week there. It's fun. Yeah. So my thing is Florida is if you are within 2 miles of the ocean, or if you drew an outline of Florida and it was just the 2-mile perimeter around the ocean, towards the ocean, Florida would be a great place to live. I could totally see myself going, oh yeah, I'll live in Clearwater. Sounds pretty good to me. Or, St. Pete Beach. Sure. Sign me up for that in a heartbeat.
Well, that first hurricane comes through and you shit your pants.
Screw it though. All right. I've been through it. I don't care. But my thing is, once you go 2 miles inland, Florida is shit. Like Florida is all mobile homes, Florida man everywhere. Really, really rundown cars. That's the other thing I noticed. I lived in California and now Texas. In both areas, for the most part, you see pretty good vehicles. You go to Florida and it's like a vehicle held together with chicken wire and like a tire from a wheelbarrow and three different, the guy doesn't have a hood to his car.
That's because that's the salt water. That's that saltwater air getting to the cars, but also the rich people live near the coast, like you're saying, so they all drive boats.
I guess that's a good point. There's a lot of boats there, which I kind of dug. I thought was really cool. Yeah. But my point is a lot of times when I go on a place to go on vacation, I don't know about you, but the wife and I kind of sit down and go, I don't know, could you live here? Could you live here? And actually, it sounds great to be in Jamaica. But could you actually live
there?
Right. Yeah. Could you live there? Could you be there every day? Could you, unless you, whatever.
Unless you really, really love the beach and ganja.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Which, I say yes to both. So, but here's the thing, most places I go, I could always find some version of, you know what, if a job moved me here for 6 months and we lived here for 6 months and I left, I could totally do that, whatever. Florida, unless you were within that, if it was in the middle of Florida somewhere, I wouldn't take a job. I couldn't live there. Couldn't do it. I think people there are legitimately crazy. Like you run into way more crazy, I call them Walmart people. And I shop at Walmart occasionally too, but there's like the Walmart person, right? Like the one that's like really has a few missing teeth, haven't combed their hair in about 4.5 years, and
they're wearing their sister's pants.
Yes, exactly. But anyways, I feel like Florida is literally just Walmart guy and Walmart girl. And I saw way more people riding those, those rascal scooters that the fat people wear. It's supposed to be for injured and disabled people, but it's turned into a vehicle for fat people in supermarkets.
Oh, yes. That's what it is.
Way more of those in Florida than I have seen anywhere else in my life. Like, I mean, the ratio of little rascal scooters going around out there is insane.
Well, isn't that their slogan? Florida, we'll make you fat.
And old. Like, do you instantly get more old?
We wheel you around so you don't have to do it yourself. That's what it's called. Damn, their flag is boring as hell too. What the hell? Ooh, look, X marks the spot, people. Right here is where you get obese. Right there. Don't eat the flag, please.
Yeah. So
that's funny. I've been there a few times, but I've only driven like through those areas and not stayed very long. Usually it would be go for it, buddy. Usually it would be on the coast. We stayed at Tampa, Orlando. Orlando obviously is expensive because it's basically Disneyland. Yeah. That's all that is. Did you go over there? Did you go to any parks?
So we did Busch Gardens. We decided that even though Orlando wasn't too far away, we thought if we're going to do Orlando, we're going to do Orlando. Like that's going to be its own trip because we would obviously want to hit all of the pertinent parks that we would want to go to. And I didn't want to make it like a day trip. Like, hey, let's go to Orlando for the day. Like, so that'll be a whole separate trip. So we stayed in the Tampa area. We really didn't stay in Tampa. We spent probably 85% of our time in Clearwater and St. Petersburg, in that area. But we did go to Busch Gardens, which was fun. My youngest daughter is a thrill seeker. She wants to ride like the absolute scariest, craziest roller coasters. And I'm kind of overprotective. And I look at those and she's like a little tiny girl. And I go, you're going to like fall out of that thing. Like, I can't believe that holds you in. So, and then as I've gotten older, I can't ride roller coasters anymore, man. My equilibrium is off or something, but I used to take the biggest thrill rides, the biggest everything. And now like anything that spins or loops, like I feel like I'm going to throw up. And so she has a hard time of finding someone in her family who wants to go with her on this ride, on any of these rides. So, but that was fun. Really liked that. We did beach stuff. We got to go to the Salvador Dali Museum. And see
saw that one. That one was pretty dope.
Super cool. Great museum experience. By the way, here's a great idea, museum people, when you're trying to draw people in and especially a younger crowd and make them interested in your museum. Go to the Dali Museum and see how they've used augmented reality and a few other, things built into their app and some tech speak to make the experience more interesting. And everyone's on their phones anyways, and everyone's just naturally gravitates to being on their phone. Yeah. So making the entire building a Wi-Fi like hotspot to where, I don't know, if you go to a museum, half the time your phone doesn't work, I
don't know. I don't go to museums very often.
But you go in this one and it's like super strong Wi-Fi everywhere because everyone's using their phone, and you have the app that gives you the map and it gives you a history of each painting and each sculpture and all that. But you also can hold it up to these paintings, and it would literally show you archival footage of the painting in different stages and how but it would play like a movie as you're holding your camera up. And then smart. Sometimes it would make the pieces of the painting float away so you could see all the different pieces and then float back together. Super cool use of augmented reality in it. And it made the museum like very interesting, and you wanted to kind of like learn more. So that was super cool. And
I should have paid attention when you were telling me. One of my favorite restaurants is in Tampa. Did you drive across the bridges at all?
I did. I saw the original Hooters.
Oh, okay. I didn't go there. That wasn't the one I was talking about.
Oh, but it was the original location of Hooters. We saw it. Didn't go in. Needless to say, that wasn't high on the vote list of when I took a family vote of where we wanted to eat.
I would have totally made them go. I'd have been like, no, this is history.
Guys, this was the first Hoot. The first pair of boobies were born right here.
You wanted me to go see where JFK was shot? Well, this is where the first Hooters commercial was shot. No, there's a place right off the I think the Gandhi. Is it the Gandhi Beach Bridge? Anyway, the place is called the Getaway. It's something that my wife and I and the whole family actually stumbled upon when we went to Orlando. It's so much cheaper to fly out of Tampa, and it's not that far away, so we drove over there for the day. Actually got stuck there, but beside that, found this restaurant. It's right on the water. I mean, it's right at the edge of the bridge, so there's not like a lot of traffic. It's not loud. And then you're literally like basically eating on a dock. And we were sitting there and we ate, and me and my wife went back for something else. We made a point to go back there and have food again. Dude, we're sitting there and dolphins just start jumping out of the water.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, we saw an alligator swim by. Like it was really cool. People are paddle boarding. Like it was really dope. I wish I would have paid more attention. I would have told you to go there because it's like tiki type.
Oh yeah, which is definitely my thing.
Oh yeah, you would have loved that. The girls would have loved it too. They like life-size Jenga and stuff. It's really cool. I apologize for not telling you, but next time you go, try it out.
I totally love that. But these things with a family vacation, you never really get to do what you want to do. It's always so catered around either the kids or just doing things as a family. So, but we did a lot of beachy stuff. We the weather was great except for one day. But we did go to a cool fort. There's this abandoned military fort, and so we saw,
where was that at? I saw that picture
right at the southern tip. So it's like down south of what is that, St. Petersburg.
Okay,
but it's a great beach area. I'd love to come back there when it's a better weather like that. When we went that day, it was freaking freezing and it was super high winds. All the other days are actually quite pleasant, but that days. But listen, Florida's beautiful. The sunsets are gorgeous. Everything's so flat, just like Texas out here. So you have great.
Have you ever gone to the old military place up above San Francisco on the other side of the Golden Gate?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I've been there. That's pretty dope. So when I saw your,
so this is very similar, except for imagine that planted on a beach, like literally on the sand.
That's crazy.
Of a beach, and this isn't some beach that's like just outside of a tourist spot and there's a hotel there. It's a protected like area. You pay like $5 to get in, and you're in like this reserve, and you just drive like 5 miles into these little fingers and inlets, and at one of them is this fort. But it's a state-run beach, so it's a
Treasure Island. Did you go to Treasure Island?
Yeah, we drove up the coast. When we go on these vacations, I plan a bunch of stuff out, and it's like in a bunch of different categories, right? So you got your beachy stuff, your museum stuff. We played some mini golf and fed alligators. Stuff like that. But anyways,
fed alligators? What'd you feed them?
I was trying to feed them my children, but they didn't want to eat sourness.
Right.
But no, my kids were great. They were such freaking troopers. But and then one of the days was New Year's, and so we decided we found this kind of event that was going on in St. Petersburg called First Night, and it's really just a bunch of vendors, and it was almost like being at like a street fair. Is really all it was. Yeah. But we didn't have many other options. We booked the trip before doing literally any research. We just picked the place and then said we'll figure it out later. So it's just kind of nice to have something to do. So, pretty darn close to the stroke of midnight on New Year's, we were dipping our toes into the water on the beach. Like we took some pictures of us on the sand, dipping our toes into the water, and it was like 11:50. And I thought
water was warm, huh?
It was pretty warm. It was warm enough to, have your toes in the water at midnight.
I'm guessing nobody got attacked by an alligator or a crocodile.
No, but the whole family was joking that with my injury history and my ability to get hurt or to have something happen, that they were all wondering, like, am I just going to get drug into the water by an alligator? like I'll be standing at the water's edge, like waving to them, and then it'll just grab me by my feet and pull me into the water or something. Because they all thought that was funny. They're like, hey, you never thought you'd get eaten by an alligator, but let's
make it happen. I know it's kind of funny. All they have to do is outrun you.
Well, that was also the running gag too, is I'm like, hey guys, if you see something, run away. And they go, we don't really have to move that fast, just faster than you. I'm like, all right, thanks guys, really appreciate it, family. And then it also is great when your kids make
a little scooter and drive around.
Yeah, get on my rascal scooter. But it's great when your kids are basically even saying, yeah, Dad, we'll come back and get you. And I said, oh, well, thanks. I appreciate you coming back to rescue me. They said, no. We'll come get your wallet from you because we still have to pay for the rest of the trip. Like, oh, thanks, guys. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
That's the curse you've been given since you were an asshole to your mom.
Yeah, I know. Really, the only sucky part about the whole trip was the flying. I mean, obviously the mask situation, like they're freaking mask Nazis, man. No, they're just such like if you have it literally 1 millimeter below your nostril for a half a second, it's like the
On the
flight
plane
jumps out from behind a hidden area and goes,
Well, if you
I caught you, you son of a bitch.
Okay, well, hold on. That's your fault because you even said it at the beginning of the story. We used Hilton, or we used points to stay at the Holiday Inn, which is a very
and I was also
inexpensive
flying
hotel.
like the worst
You
airline.
also you also said you found the cheapest flight to the place.
Yes, this is
Okay.
true.
So
all of
you
what you
put
have
that
said
shit
is
on
completely
yourself.
true.
What was the airline?
Spirit.
Yeah, of course it was. It was that or a Velo.
yeah. Oh, but that, listen, we knew it going in. But listen, the flight there was, I mean, there were super Nazis about everything on the way there, but everything ran on time and it was good. You know, we're obviously worried about flight cancellations and all that.
Yeah.
And then on the way home, our flight to go home was Tuesday, and we were supposed to leave at like 3 p.m. So the original plan was, hey, we'll take our time checking out of the hotel. We'll drive into Tampa. We'll do some cool things in Tampa, and then we drive to the airport, you know? Well, then we get like the first day that we got there, we get an email that our flight back has now been moved to 5 p.m.
Oh, fun.
I'm like, okay, listen, we'll just check out extra late. We'll check out at 11 a.m.
You are going back in time, what, 2 hours, 1 hour?
1 hour, just
1 hour. Only one. Damn.
So, you know, and all the kids had to go to school the next day. And so I was like, well, okay, hey, it's not that bad. 5 p.m. I'll have to kill more time now, taking the kids around, but we could do that. Then on the morning of, they send us a thing saying 6:30 p.m.
Ooh.
And you're like, okay. Then literally like an hour later, it got moved to 7:15 p.m. And now I'm like, okay, it's now like 8 in the morning. 9 in the morning, and you're basically finding out that your flight's already been delayed that late. You're going to be getting in late. I now have to call the people who are watching the dog, the camp that we sent them to extend the time, because now we're not going to get back in time. I have to change the rental car return because now, you know, all this stuff. And then, by the way, now I have an entire day where I'm going to have all of our luggage in the car with us, and I've planned nothing because I figured we would hit a beach and maybe get some lunch and stuff. That was my original plan. And now I'm literally like, I have to find an entire day's worth of activities unless we want to park in a car and like take a nap somewhere. Like,
I'm sure you didn't have a problem trying to find something.
Oh, of course not. But it's hard when you have to do it on the fly, right? When you're
no,
like,
it's not. That's how I live my life.
Is that how you live your life, Chris? Because I thought you lived your life a quarter mile at a time.
No, I'm not all about Vin Diesel. I mean, family like him.
Okay.
No, I live my life. How fast can I go, babe? Okay. Well, when my wife tells me how fast I can go, that's how fast I live my life.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, but no matter how fast she says, you only do it a quarter mile at a time.
Well, maybe.
Well, no, but it worked out well because we found some stuff to do. But the problem is, so we get there to the airport as if we were taking a 7:15 p.m. flight. You know, you get there at 6 or whatever, you know, to get through
6.
You know, you have to return the rental car. You get there
2 hours ahead. If you have a 7:15 flight, you get there at like 5.
No. I have TSA pre-check. I like walk right through security.
Yeah, but what about your daughters?
My daughters get to come with me because I booked the tickets with them. The only one screwed is my wife. So, but you know, screw her, right? So she has to wait. So literally my kids and I get through in about 45 seconds. And then we go sit there and wait for 45 minutes until my wife gets through.
Oh my God, you are a jackass.
I keep telling her, you got to sign up for it. I can't do it for you. Sign up for the freaking pre-check. I literally sent her the link.
Oh, well then it's her fault. Yeah.
Yeah, it is her fault. Damn it. Say it louder.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. My wife would murder me.
Oh my gosh. And I'm like, sign up for it. I want to help you out.
We're gonna go to the restaurant, get some food. You stand in that long line over there and go through that security.
Oh, and have to take off your shoes. And,
Shit, now they make you get naked, basically.
Okay, well, here's another problem. So as we're going through the security line, right? So I take the kids and I'm like, okay, kids, come with me. We go to TSA pre-check. And I said, give me all the bags, because I could just walk right through. So that way she's literally standing in line with nothing, just her little her purse, right? And I go, okay, you have the ticket, right? Because you have them on your Apple Wallet, you know. And I'm like, I purposely sent you all the tickets, right? And she goes, yes, you did. I'm all great. I take the kids, I go through, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and it's like, holy Jesus, why hasn't she come through?
You're like, this is my 5th beer. What am I doing?
know, guys, I'm a little drunk, and my wife's still not here. So I pull out my phone to look, and I guess I must have had it on silent because I didn't feel the vibrations. She's like, I see 4 missed calls from Monique, 7 text messages. She's in line. She goes, you never gave me the ticket. When you sent me the ticket, you sent one for Josephine and Audrey, but mine wasn't included in the Apple Wallet.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
And I've already gone through, you know what I mean? Like we're all through.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, but whatever, that got resolved. But anyways, the point is then we get to our gate and we find out that flight has now been delayed to 8:50 p.m.
Oh, now you're on beer 18.
Oh my God. And then you have that headache because you now have started the process of getting inebriated.
Oh yeah.
And you've already come down again. Like you like, guys, I was supposed to be drunk on the plane so I can enjoy the flight and not have a miserable flight. And then you land and you catch your Uber and everything's good. This was like, I'm already come down. And the flight hasn't even happened yet. And I'm like, I got a headache. And
I got to get re-drunk.
Which, by the way, we should market a whole company called Redrunk.
Re-drunk. I know. I'm writing it down.
Okay. So Redrunk. Mark that down. No one take it. Patent pending. I'm
gonna forget about it in 10 seconds.
Immediately. But anyway, so we didn't get home till basically like midnight. So something where we should have gotten a midnight Texas time. So that would have been 1 a.m. from where we took off from. So, but it was just one of those things where it's like, you're planning on getting home at we would have gotten home at 4 p.m. Texas time.
Yeah, when we went through Tampa, we actually got our flight canceled. So we had to get a hotel, and they're like, we'll give you a voucher for $100 off a hotel. So these people are going like standing in line waiting for their vouchers. I'm like, screw it. I got Hilton points. Let's go. We went to the embassy. Went to the embassy suites, got the flight the next day. But the shitty thing was I had to fly to Cincinnati because I had a gig. So my wife was flying back with the kids to home, and I was flying back to Cincinnati or flying to Cincinnati. And then I didn't have the right clothes. So then I had to get to Cincinnati, go to Target. Anyway, it's a big fiasco. But anyway, I'm glad you had fun in your trip, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. We got home and that's really kind of the gist of it. It was nice. What did you guys do for New Year's?
Absolutely nothing, which was absolutely fun. The wife did catch COVID, so she's sick. Right. But nothing deadly. Yeah, we've been dealing with that.
You know what? Maybe in a way, especially if she caught the Omicron, which is definitely seems to be the weaker variant. And
I think she caught the Omarion.
Yeah. That's probably a good thing because you catch the mildest version of it and you get through it. Now you got some immunity and you're good. Maybe that's a good thing.
But beside my wife, who cares about her? We need to talk Boba Fett.
We need to talk Boba Fett. Do you have any kind of we need to have like a Marvel or Star Wars like theme something
hold on. And now on Star Wars Minutes.
That wasn't bad since you did that off to
Well, it's funny because those are the only 2 sound effects I've added besides some of our really lame ones, like I am that stuff.
Hey, don't you ever mock that intro. That's one of the best intros ever. So don't you ever do that.
But Boba Fett. Boba
freaking Fett. Okay, so
have you watched both episodes?
How this transpired. You literally just texted me last night, and your text literally just said you need to watch Boba Fett.
Yes, watch Boba Fett. And I thought you would had by that time because I want to talk to you about it. But
with before we get going any farther,
spoilers.
Oh, yeah, major spoilers.
Just log off now if you haven't seen it because we're going to talk. Okay, so Boba Fett, it finally started and it showed him how he escaped from the
What a great opening, let's call it 15 minutes of establishing the character, establishing the background of how the character got there, and bringing you up to date into the modern world. It was absolutely if you're taking a class on screenwriting and filmmaking on how to start off, I think this is literally a masterclass because think of they used flashbacks.
Yep.
They used you see him in this tank. He's wearing scuba gear, and you're like, what is he at one of those things at the mall where you get the water massage?
Up your
Like,
butt?
what's going on here, Mr. Fett? And you come to realize that, you know, it's like this healing tank or whatever, but you see immediately the Sarlacc pit.
Yes.
And which
you
is
don't
so
even-
great because you're immediately tied into, oh my God, this is from the original trilogy. They're tying it right into it, right from the get-go.
And you don't even just see the Sarlacc pit. You see Jabba's party barge crashed, dilapidated, deteriorating because that just got blown up.
You see another stormtrooper who, by the way, in the movie gets tossed in. I think not by Luke. He gets tossed in by, I'm trying to remember. So yeah, someone tosses him in, kicks him in.
Yeah.
He falls in the Sarlacc pit full, and he does the what they call the Wilhelm scream, which is a famous scream in movie history. Which that one.
Yeah.
So they use the Wilhelm scream when that guy goes in. And what's great is, as Boba Fett's trying to get out, he needs oxygen. He kind of crawls inside of the Sarlacc's stomach over to the stormtrooper to get the thing. And I even went online and looked at the images, and I wanted to see it was it the same stormtrooper, and it was. They had the same markings, same helmet, same everything.
It did. It was very detailed.
Super well done. Loved that aspect of it.
See, now that's where I think that Han Solo went wrong. I think there was so much like set on the parsecs of the Kessel Run.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew what it was. But I think that they could have, if they started the movie off where that Kessel Run was like prominent and that kind of made it, I think that would have been a better start, just like this for Boba Fett. But honestly, that was dope. The him escaping the Sarlacc pit, him burning the shit out of the Sarlacc, which was quite cool.
And by the way, the first, I'm trying to remember, because how long was the show? Was it like 40?
The first one was like 40 minutes. The second one was like 50.
And I haven't seen by the way, haven't seen the second one. We're only talking about episode number 1.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
So
You're
gonna have to limit it, because you told me last night, we had just come back from vacation the day before. So yesterday was literally my first day.
Let me pull up the first one so I can make sure I don't spoil it.
And you literally are like, you've got to watch this. The wife and I literally had an event to do. We go out and we do the event, and I come home. I'm like, I gotta watch this because I want to talk to Chris about it. So I've only watched episode 1. We're watching episode 1 again tonight with the girls, and watching 2. So I will be caught up as of tonight. But that being said.
Well, it takes you back to the cantina. It takes you back to the little blue elephant looking piano type playing guy is in there, and it just ties it all back to a lot of the nostalgia that you get from Return of the Jedi.
Nostalgia was really well done. It wasn't overly done on the nostalgia, but it was just enough to tie you into the story. But I want to talk about that first 20 minutes of the show, maybe 15.
Yeah.
Almost virtually completely silent, except for like sound effects, right? There's no talking basically, because you're dealing with the oh shit, I'm drawing a blank on the names.
People,
the
Tusken Raiders,
the Tusken
people.
Raiders.
Yep.
You're dealing with Tusken Raiders. You're dealing with the not slavers. What's the
bounty hunters?
The scrappers. The guys who come along.
The Jawas.
The Jawas.
The Jawas. Yeah.
Yeah. You're dealing with the Jawas who are silent. You're dealing with the Tusken Raiders who just make squeaking noises. You're dealing with Boba Fett, who chooses basically to just not talk most of the time. You're dealing with him in the Sarlacc pit. Like literally, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the movie Castaway. Do you remember how in the movie Castaway, there's literally, I mean, it's like 30 minutes goes by where not one word is spoken of dialogue. But here's what's great about how they did it. They pretty much didn't have any dialogue in that first episode and the first half. And yet they conveyed every bit of information that you needed. You see the torture basically that Boba Fett has to go through. And it makes you wonder why he just didn't go back and just murder those Tusken Raiders.
Yes, and you will see how all that plays out. I'm trying not to spoil anything.
Oh, and I figured that's going to come back. Yeah, I kind of figured. But
there's literally 40 minutes, 30 minutes in the second episode that nobody talks. It's just a little bit of, and then couple lasers, a couple blasters being fired, and some Tusken Raiders screaming, and then as we saw in Mandalorian, the Tusken Raiders do know sign language, so that plays a little bit into it all. So I think that it's showing the Sarlacc pit obviously was super fan servicing, definitely on point. I'm trying to think. I think that the fight scene was pretty dope.
Oh yeah, well, and he's doing it while like kind of messed up, right? Like any fight
still-
scene he's doing, like he's still kind of like all broken. He's a broken man, really.
From being in the Sarlacc pit and then being tortured by the Tuskens.
Marched across. By the way, all of the things in that entire first episode, I could have done and endured. I could fight. I'll scrap for my life. I'll fight my way out of a Sarlacc pit. I'll do all of that. But you asked me to walk like 10 miles through the desert or something like that. Like
done.
I am OUT out. Like don't.
Yeah,
even...
no. If you noticed, if you watched the show, The Survivalist that we were on with my family on BYU TV, you could check it out now, all streaming. Episode whatever it was.
I think it was episode 6.
Whatever. First season. We had to wait because they were filming 2 episodes at a time. We had to wait until the first episode left. So we didn't actually like leave where we were standing to start our hike until like 1:00 in the afternoon. And it wasn't like it was shaded. There were a couple easy ups, but we were standing in the sun the whole damn time. So if you watch me throwing up there after the first few minutes, that's because I was standing in the sun for 4 hours before I actually started walking. So I do have somewhat of an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, yes, walking in the sun sucks. The desert, the characters, they all look so real and dope. I mean, I'm trying.
And then, okay, so can you talk to me a little bit more about the history of his sidekick? And I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Min Wing or Fennec.
Fennec. Give me a little bit of what you know about that character.
The character
kind of tie it all in.
Showed up in, I believe, the Clone Wars was the original where she showed up as a bounty hunter, just a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And then she came back in Mandalorian as a live character, and then she died. She got killed by Mando, and Boba Fett found her and semi-rebuilt her, partially robotic. So now she's in his debt. And then she does, however, I know she pops up in Clone Wars. I think she does pop up in not Rebels, but what was the one where they were on that platform the whole time? But anyway, another Star Wars cartoon. So she's crossed a few of the platforms as this character between cartoons and reality, but that's pretty much all we know right now. She's just kind of a badass.
Yeah, she's his right-hand man, right-hand woman.
She's awesome.
She wants to be much more aggressive. Well, as he there's a famous line, which I think has become the tagline for the show, which is Jabba ruled out of fear. I want to rule out of respect, which is a very key line because you can tell just by knowing, I am a writer myself. I do some writing. When you're writing a screenplay, a line like that is in there intentionally. It's meant to set a tone, right?
Yeah.
So that line is specifically crafted to be there because it's supposed to define the character, right?
Well,
so they're literally telling you how the entire series is going to go. They're saying he's going to rule out of respect, and that's not always by fear. And so,
let me tell you, after the second episode, there's a lot more fear, but not necessarily from him. Tease. One thing that I was excited about. I'm going to spoil this for you, or not spoil it. Well, yeah, I'm going to spoil it for you. I've always been infatuated or excited about seeing the Hutts. Jabba the Hutt, he was a big blob. What the hell is that, And then they re-injected him or his brother into the digital stuff they did to the originals when they brought him back. So I thought that was dope. And then he was in the Clone Wars a lot, and his brother was in the Clone Wars, and then he was in the first of the prequels. So the Hutts are something that I always really liked, and then of course he died in Return of the Jedi. Spoilers, but
guys, by the way, if you haven't watched Return of the Jedi yet, maybe you should get off. So,
but also I wanted to see him again, and I'm like, that was the one thing I'm like, okay, well, Mandalorian, he's taken over Jabba. Jabba wasn't the only Hutt. We know this.
Yeah.
There's somewhere there worms crawling around the dirt
Pizza
somewhere.
Hut.
There's Pizza the Hut, his cousin from Spaceballs.
There's Hoff's Hut, the famous Southern California restaurant
from David Hasselhoff. No, but they do show up in the next episode.
Yes, and I'm actually looking forward to that too. I heard about that. I want to talk a little bit about my favorite scene in the entire episode, which is where he's sitting. Speaking of Jabba the Hutt, this is called a segue, people. Speaking of Jabba the Hutt, when he's sitting on Jabba's throne, and he's the new leader of, I guess you'll call it, like, I don't want to call it a gang. It's more like a mafioso. Like how the mafia would rule over a town, right? Like,
what do they call him? Like
it was like some made up word, like the Drago Bob or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
something like that. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. That scene where people are coming in to pay him tribute. and how the one guy comes in and he's just pretty much the most like disrespectful like guy ever. And Fennec was like, let's literally kill him. I will murder him right now. And Bob was like, no, hold on, we'll handle this a different way. Or
that was the mayor's guy, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, he's kind of gives him a big middle finger in there.
Yeah, totally. It was very disrespectful. Like I'm even sitting there going like, yeah, I would have killed the guy. Like just or you chop off his head and you send his head back to them and say, try better next time. Or, I would have. I'm not a violent man, but even I was sitting there going, okay, Boba, you're getting punked here. Like this guy's making you look like a clown.
Totally.
But it just once again kind of goes to Boba has to now make the decision of how to be this leader and who does he want to be. And it's challenging when you're taking over because everyone's going to test you, right? Like you get to the prison yard, the guy's going to pick a fight with you because they got to see how tough you are. And that seems like kind of what was going on, which I found really interesting, really well written, because the character who was playing that like played that kind of like dismissive asshole character really well.
Yeah, he shows up in the second episode too. But do you remember, did you ever watch The Bad Batch?
Only the first 2 episodes.
Okay, well, The Bad Batch, when they were doing their thing in their timeline, they're actually the people that had to deliver the Rancor to Jabba the Hutt in one of the episodes as their cargo, and it was a baby Rancor. It was only like 4 foot tall at that time, but that tied into Return of the Jedi and everything. I thought that was pretty cool because obviously the Rancor pit's still there, Yeah. But I don't know if there's a Rancor or not. So it's dope. I love it.
I didn't know because I guess I don't know how I didn't know this, but Robert Rodriguez was the director
of the first episode or the second one?
The first one.
I'm looking. Yeah, he was the director of the first episode. Yeah,
totally didn't know that. I mean, I knew the Jon Favreau connection. I knew it was written by him, and I knew it was like produced by him. And this is kind of his baby, along with the Mandalorian stuff. But to get Robert Rodriguez to do that kind of opening one, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be a reoccurring director or if they just assign different directors to different episodes.
I'm looking right now. It's only shows the directors. Oh no, it shows them for like Bryce Dallas Howard does chapter 4. She's awesome. And then it's just the same people that kind of went through the Mandalorian that are directing right now. So I'm guessing like Filoni will be doing one and Favreau might even actually do one. Who knows?
Yeah, super cool. They've created this great and credit to Favreau and his team, but they've done a really good job between The Mandalorian and this of creating not only, by the way, in my opinion, renewed interest in the Star Wars franchise. Because while I very much was on board for Force Awakens, and I was loved all of the the Rogue Ones. Listen, I'm a sucker for it. I'll watch every damn one of them.
Yeah.
But I think excitement was fading. I think it was kind of just true fans that were going to go see it. I don't know if it can pull Marvel numbers necessarily. But what The Mandalorian did was show you that here's some side story stuff that can be extremely well done. And we can create a whole world that's a very believable world that fans will recognize and accept the theories and the structure of these worlds. Mm-hmm. And they do just the right amount of fan servicing. I think they've done an excellent job of, we're putting just enough in there to keep all the nerds happy, but we're advancing this as its own story. And so with Mandalorian and Boba Fett, so far anyways, I think they've definitely knocked it out of the park. And this goes into one of the shows that, even though my daughter hasn't seen it yet, I guarantee you, because she's so excited to see it, this will be one of those family watch shows, which there's only a handful of those for us. The Simpsons, I think we still watch Bob's Burgers like that way. We literally only have a handful of shows that are like, okay, everybody, we won't watch this unless the entire family's sitting around to watch it. And I think the Boba Fett's going to fit into that realm because they've done a good job. And that's going to be credit to Favreau.
Yeah, him and Filoni have done an amazing job along with Howard and all them. But I agree with you 100%. The one thing that I really do like about these series is when watching the movie, you saw all these odd characters, or you saw, a Jabba the Hutt, or you saw on Clone Wars, you saw the pirates or whatever. It's bringing all of them into a real world, for one, if they came from a cartoon, but two, you get to see more of them. You get to learn more of their backstory, and they're just not like a character that's like sitting in a scene where you're like, wow, that person's dope. Who is it? You know what I mean? So I love that they expand on the characters that were just background from the movies. I just love that.
Yeah, super, super great and really well done job. And I'm glad that Jon Favreau is to the point now where he's kind of really established himself as a pretty powerful player in not only this universe, but I mean, because then you start factoring in his role as Happy.
Yep.
In the Marvel universe.
He helped with that too. He's directed and wrote some of that stuff too.
His Iron Man stuff. I mean, like he really has dipped his toe into these waters and shown that he's one of the ones who can do it really well.
And he makes me cry when I watch him in Rudy.
That's right.
And that's Boba Fett.
That's Boba Fett. I don't know what to expect in the second one. I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure we'll talk about this again. But for the most part, I couldn't give it more of a thumbs up. It was super enjoyable. It was something that the wife watched with me and she loved it. I know my kids are gonna like it, and so I think it's definitely gets the high Rotten Tomato score. By the way, what is, I'm curious, and I'll look it up here too. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes is? Let's play a game here. One score game. What do you think the score is on Rotten Tomatoes? And I haven't looked yet. I promise. I'll look it up after we say it.
On Boba Fett?
Yeah, on Boba Fett.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, hooray for Hollywood! It's really got me. Hooray! 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 Hooray for Hollywood!
Yeah, this will be the quickest one ever. A one shot Book of Boba Fett guess.
Episode 1.
Well,
or just
they'll
overall?
rate the entire series. Obviously, it'll be updated as the series goes on. But what do you think the score is right now?
I'd say 94.
94.
Did I think
it's probably still too new to get a 94. I'm gonna say a 90. All right.
90.
There you go.
Okay.
Now
is it audience score or
no, critic score?
Critic score. Okay,
I looked it up. Book of Boba Fett is currently at an 87.
Hey, what'd you pick?
Yeah, good job.
What'd you get?
I had 90.
You picked 90?
Yeah, so I was 3 points off.
Asshole.
There you go.
Price is right at me.
Price is right at you. By the way, so that's all. Do you have anything else on Boba Fett?
That's about it. I love that show. I'm gonna keep watching it until I die.
Until I die. Well, everybody, that is it. I want to give a plug, if he wasn't going to do it himself, to a new show on the This Is Funner platform called Plus One. The first episode is there's this guy on there. He's extremely handsome, really, really smart and intelligent, super funny.
I'm the host. I know this.
Oh, okay. But anyways, real cool concept for a show, and I thought it was super enjoyable. I listened to the first 2 episodes and thought it was super cool. What'd you think of Travis's episode where he mushrooms in Universal Studios? Yeah. Dude, I got the next one coming out. He was a +1 to Michael Jackson in his Pepsi commercial. Whoa, where he got lit on fire? Yes. Super cool. Yeah. I know. Could be Michael Jackson. It's a great concept. That's dope. Yeah, it's a great concept for a show. I want to give a plug to that. And then you can stream all of the 6 full seasons now, since we just ended our 6th season of Listen to This. And I'm currently probably 80% done writing season 7. So it will probably a couple months away from that. But take a look at all of those and give them a listen. As is everything else on the This Is Funner network. Yep, and you can reach me, Chris_Donovan. He's Snatcher's Rat Pack, and this is we don't even think we introduced the show. This is We Should Be Better at This. Oh, we did when we said that you did a good job of doing the drop, and I made a good joke. I said, "Hey, the show's called We Should Be Better at This," but occasionally we're good. Yeah, see, I don't even remember things. Yeah, sometimes we're so professional we don't even realize we're professional. All right, say goodbye. Bye.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Well, well, well. Shopping for a car?
Yep, Carvana made financing a car as smooth as can be.
Oh, yeah?
I got pre-qualified instantly and had real terms personalized just for me.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
Well, I got to browse thousands of car options on Carvana, all within my budget.
Doesn't get much smoother than that.
It does. I actually wanted a car that seemed out of my range, but I was able to add a cosigner and found my dream car.
It doesn't get much...
Oh, it gets smoother. It's getting delivered tomorrow.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get pre-qualified today.